Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday morning, November 3rd, Election Day. And we're looking at the last 4 days of the SPY ETF's market profile. And I'm showing you this because we are in a 4-day balance. And for the second day in a row, second day of November, we're attempting to gap high. Now remember, the gap will be from yesterday's high, not from the top of the balance. We traded as high as 334.95. Remember, above this balance is that huge gap of 460 points. Before I get to anything, I would like to thank Arizona State University for hosting me last night. A little bit, did about an hour, a little bit over an hour with a bunch of the students there. I love doing that, especially with the younger people. I think it's fantastic that our next generation takes such a great interest in this profession, and more importantly, to try to learn this profession in the right way. So again, thanks for having me, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, so 4-day balance, attempting to come out of it to the upside into a huge gap. Do I expect this gap to get filled today? I do not, especially early on. Again, later in the day, L&M can do whatever they want, especially if things start leaking out with some results, although it will be fairly early. But for now, I do not expect this gap to be filled. The question is, where would I want to sell into it, especially with a gap higher and higher value? So let's go over the destinations first. Remember, the destinations are far and wide apart. We keep talking about this, and it's important because these short-term algos need to search for their next destination. So right now, we have 75 minutes to go prior to the opening. So I'm going to give you yesterday's high on both sides of the equation because a lot can happen in the next hour and 15 minutes. So yesterday's high was 332.26. Remember, we closed at 330.20. Remember I said it was over $2 away? And hell, we're gapping above it. So I'm still going to use 332.26, which is yesterday's high, then the top of our 4-day balance, which is the 29th high of 333.39, and then filling that huge gap at 337.99. Now inside of that, we have the overnight high of 334.95. So that would be your first destination if we are to gap higher to see what happens at the overnight. For the downside, I'll use yesterday's high again of 332.26. If we gap higher, that will be your first destination. Then below that, we have our overnight low of 329.16. Then we don't have anything till we get more market-generated information until yesterday's low of 327.24, which was a poor low. Let's not forget that. Boy, I should have bought those 1,000 calls I was kidding about because 27.24 is my badge number, as we are over $6 higher from that level. And then below that, we have the 9 wide of 325.03, and then the all-important monthly low of 322.60. So game plan for this morning. Well, again, are we going to do basically what we did yesterday? Now, yesterday we gapped higher, but it was within balance. Now we're attempting to come out of balance. Are we going to come out of balance and stay above it? Are we going to come out of balance and just stretch it slightly? For my money's worth, I would think, again, I would look for that latter thing to happen where we stretch the top of this balance a bit, but eventually come inside of the 4-day balance. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to close the gap, but I would be kind of surprised if we gap and go and just stay in the big gap that we have from the 28th. Remains to be seen. So what is the game plan? Well, again, the bigger the gap, the less I want to take a long play. Now, you can take a long play against the top of the 4-day balance, but any acceptance inside of that, I would be out even if the gap doesn't fill. Or you can wait to see if it comes in inside the 4-day balance, but see if we hold the gap. There's a lot of things that can happen. Now, if I take a call play, it would probably be the 332 level against yesterday's high. As far as a short, do I want to short it right here? Probably not. I would like to see more of a push towards the overnight high, which is about $1 away. A lot of times they front run the overnight high and low. So if we were to get up to that level, that would be a decent risk-reward trade. And then if they take the overnight and start one-time framing up, then I'd be out of that trade. But maybe the first time, they front run it the first time, I take a put play to see if we back off initially. Again, it's not because the market's bad, because we're going to have higher value in a gap. But again, are we going to fill this gap? 460 points. I would think it's unlikely, at least early in the day, that this gap gets filled to the upside. So that's a put play near the overnight high. Call play either against the top of the 4-day balance or if we come in the next hour above yesterday's high. Any acceptance back into this 4-day balance, and especially if the gap fills an acceptance into here, and then where's your ultimate destination? The bottom of the 4-day balance, which is last month's low. Now, I'm not saying that would happen today, obviously, but those are things we have to keep an eye on. Pre-market volume right now, just over 1 million, so pretty good with 70 minutes to go. It will be an interesting day. You can have many opportunities, even if today isn't that busy. We have a lot going on this week. You have the election. We have the Fed for Thursday. We have the job number on Friday. Patience and market-generated information will be your two best friends. Also, being in CamelbackTrading.org's voice trading room, guiding you would also help. And then on the chart, I'll just show you the daily, because nothing could happen in the monthly or weekly until the daily gets solved. 4-day balance, attempting to come out of it to the upside on a gap. The gap is big. If the gap ever does fill, then our next destination would be the 50-day moving average, which is right around the 339.50 level. If you fail above the 4-day balance and come back in, your ultimate destination will be the bottom of that balance. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.